that will be installed in all vehicles. And it's being done without the consent of the Congress or the American people. One part of the Trans-Texas Corridor, which is expected to run some 4,000 miles, carries an estimated cost of $183 billion, which will be financed by huge increases in federal, state, and local taxes, and by the conversion of scores of existing roads to toll roads, which taxpayers have already paid for. And Cintra, the Spanish company represented in the United States by Rudy Giuliani's law firm, will collect these tolls for the next 50 years. As Congressman Ron Paul put it, the costs will be socialized and the profits privatized.
Rick, that's incredible beyond words.
Not only that, Dick, but students from 10 universities in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, including Harvard and American University, have already begun taking part in an annual simulated model parliament. They met in the Mexican Senate for 5 days in May of 2006 and discussed draft bills on trade corridors, immigration, and provisions of NAFTA. A similar event took place in the Canadian Senate in 2005.
So the globalists are conditioning students to accept the North American Union as if it already exists.
That's right. The French call that a fait accompli.
Incredible. So they teach the North American Union in the schools.
But not a word about it in the national media, who have strict instructions never to mention certain subjects or to discredit those who do mention them.
So, Rick, how are the globalists actually going to implement the North American Union?
Why are you asking me, Dick? I'm not a globalist.
But if you were, how would you do it?
Well, that's different. Since the European Union is the prototype for the North American Union, I would copy that. I mean, why reinvent the wheel? Let's return to our fly-on-the-wall reporter to see how David Rockefeller and Henry Kissinger are building their regional government in the Western Hemisphere.
Henry, I'm very disappointed. The North American Union is taking much too long. What's the holdup?
We're moving as fast as we can, David. We're using the same plan that's worked so well in Europe. We started out with that industrial community treaty with 6 countries after World War II. Then we got them to sign the Treaties of Rome to create the Common Market in 1957. Then we used more treaties to create the European Community, and then the European Union. And each time any political, business, or military big mouth tried to tell others what we were really doing, we used the usual methods to neutralize them. Bribery and intimidation usually did the trick, David, but we also had to launch media campaigns to ruin their credibility and destroy their careers.
That's just the cost of doing business. It's to be expected. But damn it, Henry, Europe took too long. We can't take 50 years in North America. Haven't we learned from our mistakes?
Europe took longer because we didn't have as much media control there as we do in the U.S., so we were forced to make the changes in plain view of the public. But of course, we were able to put enough spin into what we told the public so they bought into it.
So it should go even faster in North America with our control of the American media. Besides, we have a lot more power in the United States Congress than we ever did in the European parliaments. We pay a lot of money for that kind of power. Let's put it to good use.
Well, if we rush it, David, if we move too fast, we'll risk showing our hand too soon. The jig will be up and then we'll be ruined.
I don't care. We've already spent a lot of money on North America. Spend more if you have to. I want it wrapped up by 2010.
Look, we've already got the U.S. as a NAFTA signatory, and that took less time than the common market. Now, it's true that Brussels has been much more aggressive in overruling the EU member nations, but the NAFTA tribunals are starting to overturn U.S. court decisions. It's working.
Yes, but the whole economic integration in Europe took 35 years, and it's still not finished. That's the model for the Security and Prosperity Partnership. Are you telling me that the SPP is also going to take 35 years? That's intolerable.
Oh, maybe the target date was too early or too ambitious. Again, if we show our hand too soon, we're finished. The people will find out what we're really up to.
Forget about them. Spend more money. Push the pro-immigration folks and give them plenty of media. Make more policies to get Mexican trucks full access to the United States. Lean on Bush to get it done. Throw more money at the SPP people. How many illegals are crossing the Mexican border each day?
About 10,000.
Make it 20,000. No, 50,000. France is being overrun by North African and Arab immigrants. There are 500,000 illegals going into the European Union every year. I want 15 to 20 million Hispanics crashing the United States. I don't care how much it costs or how we do it. Just get it done. Get rid of those borders. We've got to merge the economies. Keep the Border Patrol away and tell Ted Kennedy that he'd better find a way to get those amnesties passed through Congress or else.
There's been a lot of grassroots resistance to the immigration reform legislation, David. No matter how we disguise the amnesty, the protesters find out about it anyway.
The American people will never catch on. They're too dumb.
No, I don't think so, David. They're seeing through our legislative tricks. They've stopped the Congress several times. More and more of them know about the North American Union. I wouldn't put it past them.
If they resist too much, we'll kill the U.S. dollar sooner than planned.
Wait a minute, wouldn't that risk exposing us? We didn't need a crisis in Europe, you know.
When the people are broke and starving, when they've got no money and no food, they'll be clamoring for salvation. Then we can move in with that new currency. What's it called again?
The Amero.
Yeah, the Amero. I like the sound of that. Rhymes with euro. In the meantime, we'll continue to implement laws like we do in Europe, by commissions and forums rather than parliaments. When the economy collapses, we'll bring in the North American community, and then the North American Union, complete with one constitution, our constitution, not the one from 1776, or whenever it was that's tied our hands all these years.
I think it was 1787.
Who the hell cares? As Bush said, it's just a goddamn piece of paper.
Dear Mr. Rockefeller, is that accurate? Is that the way you and your fellow globalists are planning to turn North America into a third world province in your world government?
If not, we invite you to go on national television and tell us where we have erred. We would be happy to issue a retraction.
Dick, we know who is giving the instructions to the media about what they report. We know their plan, and we know how they are implementing it. So the question now is, how can a small group of globalists get others to help them reach their goal?
With lots of money. Building a world government is very expensive.
Agreed. But where does it all come from? That's what we're going to look at next.
Did Part 2 hold any more surprises for you? Well, if you think the North American Union is bad, wait till you see Part 3.